I'm just so over it. And if nobody's gonna say anything, you guys know I will, okay? Because I am just so over these overstimulated religious church Christian folks who are always in our spiritual business condemning us as if they have business there. If you all do not like what we say, do not like our teachings, do not like how our spirit uses us, how our God, that we possibly could be even claiming the same God, but you are too busy with the wrong mindset to even realize that we are really on the same team. So where I'm getting at, a lot of you all Christian religious folks like to come be up in our spiritual business, condemning us under our posts, telling us that we are wrong, telling us Jesus is the way, we should repent, this is wrong, that is wrong, then have the nerve to want to argue with us in contradiction. Because the thing is here, my religious folks, you all don't realize that you are betraying the ugliness, the bad fruit. You're projecting it onto us, thinking that you are prophesying and witnessing and being used by your God, when I just have a hard time believing that the God that you believe you are serving and claiming, and the God that you believe is leading you, is telling you to tell us spiritualists who are being used by God in effective ways the things that you all come at us with. And then when we speak up for ourselves, you all are combative. What happened to the God that is not in the midst of confusion? What happened to God being the answer? What happened to what would Jesus do? What would the God that you serve do? What happened to minding your business? What happened to letting the just or the unjust be just or unjust still? Because if we really want to get technical based off of not just experience, observation, and action, those who are always attacking us spiritual folks who are actually doing our missions and are actually being effective and are actually understood by those who are actually trying to heal and actually trying to move forward, opposed to the Christian folks who are always judging and are always putting down and who are always condemning instead of uplifting and doing the godly acts. You guys have to realize that you guys are not really right like you think you are. Because when God says we know them by our fruit, the fruit of who you are versus the Bible that you are supposed to live by is not lining up. And it just seems to make more sense when they say that the first shall come last and the last shall come first, because all of you false prophets, all of you people that are leading in blindness and are on podiums and preaching and teaching but are not really right in heart, doing all kinds of wicked things in secret, you all are pretending like you are first and above a whole lot of people, putting people last, but the ones that you are putting last and condemning are showing and proving in the last days to be first, okay? Because look at us now. We don't talk about you guys the way that you all talk about the spiritualists and what you guys think is wrong about us without even knowing anything about being woke or anything about spirituality or anything about being righteous with the God that you serve. You guys are always judging, you guys are always condemning, you guys are really not as helpful as you think, you guys are narcissistic, and you guys are really selfish and don't even realize it, that the ones that you are putting down are the ones that God had really sent to heal the earth. You guys have limited yourselves and your God and confined him into a book and into your program beliefs, and are not really as effective or not really as pure-hearted or not really as good as you all think you are. Because the God that you all serve should not be controlled by bits and pieces of wordings inside of a book that can never exceed or excel beyond what God has done or is doing or will do. You all will never know the whole story, the full story, the complete story of God's power, what he is, who he is, what he does, if you all continue to confine yourself into a limited space in your belief. So when a lot of spiritualists say that they are spiritual, that does not mean that they don't believe in God. Some of them may even believe in the same God or the same Jesus that you believe in, or whatever God that you may believe in, but choose to not be religious because they believe that God is more than what you all have limited God to be. And that is why they are more effective, more wise, and more pure-hearted, and you all are just so blind and defensive and denial and don't even realize it. A lot of you all have a hardened heart, a wicked heart that cannot be healed because you guys are resorting to what you believe, and your belief is not really helping you because you're limiting your God. And regardless of what you believe your God is, you still should not condemn anybody else for what they want to believe in, or who they believe their God is, or how they want to serve their God, because you are not God. You do not call the shots. And at the end of the day, there has always been diversity and differentiality, and there has always been a way for God to get to his people the way that God needs to get through his people, okay? And it may not align with what you think it should look like. So a lot of you all should really be careful about how you guys condemn God's people just because you don't understand their culture or their beliefs. All you need to worry about is understanding your own, or trying to understand others opposed to condemning them. Notice how we're not up under you all's post and you all's business, condemning you all, putting you all down, judging you all. We're not doing all of that. Yes, we know what we know, but we are not throwing it in you all's faces to hurt you all, and we are not trying to stop you from being who you all want to be. So at the end of the day, when you feel like you need to check somebody else for being effective, maybe you should stop, think about it, and check yourself for being ineffective. Okay? And my name is Dominica Divinely, God's favorite light worker, the golden healer, the messenger, and your down-to-earth high priestess. Listen to that again, because ain't nothing made up. This is just for confirmational purposes only. Some of y'all be knowing,